Welcome to a new season of Cozy Moon Podcast. This is season 5 of Cozy Moon. My name is Shan, mom of the girls. This is a podcast where we talk about surviving parenting, the realness about preggo-ness, and giving really good tips on being our best parent and evolving every day. So if that's what you're looking for, you're at the right place. That's all I got, ain't got no more. Hey y'all, welcome back to Cozy Moon Podcast. Happy Friday. This is episode 19, part 2 of Ashley and I discussing, not shaming girls for their bodies. In this episode, we talk about boys versus friends who happen to be boys. We talk about our parents, what we thought was marriage for our parents and what isn't. We talked about men and women having men, and it's just taking up space, not serving a purpose. Single mom stigmas, the whole thing with girls sitting on laps. We talk about appropriate clothing, and we talked about phony followers and fake algorithms. Enjoy. Have you ever heard of Hey Black Mom? It's a brand and website dedicated to making Black mothers feel informed, inspired, safe, entertained, heard, and empowered through a global space of sharing. Telling stories and sharing narratives that the ever-complex melanin mommy can relate to. Hey Black Mom offers a platform for their voices to be exclaimed and applauded. Hey Black Mom was created by Jessica Jackson, a recovering sports journalist with a passion for words and stories. When she had her first child in 2016, her energy shifted and created HeyBlackMom.com. Their content ranges from columns about the dark side of motherhood, coronavirus, human interest pieces such as the story of a mom in kidney failure fighting for her life, and features about Black business, guest commentary, event coverage, and more. Visit the website to find out additional information about what Jessica is doing for us through storytelling. Be sure to subscribe to the email list, and while you're there, check out Hey Black Mom on social at Hey Black Mom. Jessica is passionate about the space she created and continues to develop, and hope you will be too. Thanks for checking out Hey Black Mom. Now back to the show. 12, 13, 14, what she thinks boyfriends are like. What is that transition going to look like? Like, how in depth are you going to go? What is going to change?
So right now, I tell her what she can and cannot do with males in general. So for me, I kind of just generalize it, because whether you're 7 or 17, for me, the spectrum does not really change much. This is what you can do with a male, and this is what you cannot do. Now, there may be a deeper conversation once she hits a certain age where she wants to start hanging out with a guy. Mm-hmm. And depending on her age, I'll allow it. Like Ashad wants a girlfriend right now. And I told him, well, you are anywhere, you can't really do anything with her, hang out with her. So I just don't see the point of you having a girlfriend if, I don't feel comfortable going up to someone's mom or dad like, hey, and wants to hang out with your daughter.
What age is your
is not there. Now? He is 10 going on 11.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just like, I'm not comfortable asking someone's, parent that. So yeah, that's not even something we'll entertain. Now, if he ever wants to have like a co-ed hangout, like, hey, some of the people from school, they all want to go to the bowling alley or they all want to go skating. I feel like I'm a cool ass mama. So cool, yeah, you can go. I'm gonna be there too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't have to be there in y'all business, but I also get along with teens a lot. I was actually in the midst of teaching a Sunday school class before Corona hit. And I just relate to teens a lot. I feel like I went through, not necessarily a lot as a teenager, but I went through my teenage years already. It's nothing that they haven't done or want to do that I probably haven't done already. And I feel like I make those conversations very easy. I feel like when my children become teenagers, it'll probably be more easier for me to talk to them because I can be a little bit more open.
Yeah.
But as far as Journey, it's just once she hits a certain point, so let's just say in 6th grade, she has that feeling where, hey, I want to start hanging out with boys, outside of school. Again, it's really going to be on my terms and my comfort level. I don't want her to be scared or freak out because, relationships are important. I don't want to shield her from having a boyfriend and all that. And then she sneaks and does it anyway. And then I have to have a conversation after I catch her, in the act of doing whatever, you know what I'm saying?
And you turn into the bad guy.
Right. So that's why I just try to generalize it where Journey, she'll see a cute boy and she'll say, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And sometimes it's like, oh, he's such a cutie pie. And then she has those other eyes where it's like, he's cute. And, it's okay to express that someone is, cute or handsome or whatever, but we draw the line where we are acting on things, you know what I'm saying? Like she knows, don't sit on anyone's lap and, don't have on.
Okay, so speaking of sitting on somebody's lap, as a kid, I remember feeling ashamed of myself because I was a girl and not knowing who was okay to sit on their lap. Because a daughter sitting on a dad's lap versus a daughter sitting on an uncle's lap or sitting on a friend's family's lap is completely different. And as a child, it's very scary and very, oh my God, I'm in trouble because some adult told me I could sit somewhere and I didn't know I was wrong. And the way that I was talked to as a child about that was never like from my mom. My mom always has like a gentle approach to talking to kids. That was always told to me by aunts, friends of the family. You don't sit on no man's lap. Don't be out here sitting on, like, dang, like I didn't know I was doing something bad. But then when you see boys get to sit on their aunt's lap or they get to sit on, whoever friend of the family lap, they don't get chastised like that. And for me, I remember when Anya was younger and I was like interviewing people for, watching the girls at the house. I appreciated Ari's dad for taking Anya to the side and be like, Anya, you don't sit on nobody's lap. You could sit on my lap. You could sit on your mom's lap. But you don't sit on this person or this person's lap. You don't hug this or this person. And it's kind of like, all of that is confusing, but I know why he did it. I know why it needs to be done, but I feel like the approach to a child, especially a girl, you have to balance that out in a way where you don't make a girl feel ashamed of who she is. And a lot of how we are taught as little girls makes us ashamed of being girls, makes us ashamed of having breasts, of having butt, of having a vagina, of having thighs, or having long legs. You're not supposed to be wearing that skirt. That skirt is too short. Why? Because my knees are
showing? Right.
Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I just feel like the approach to girls and sometimes boys needs to be a bit more gentle so they don't feel ashamed of having the body parts that they have.
Yeah. I feel fortunate to have obviously a baby daddy I can trust. I also trust his brother and I trust my brother and I trust my dad. That's about as far as my trust goes. And I make that very well known to both of my children. You know what I'm saying? And, like you said, it's a lot being a young lady, because, some of our mothers were not protected and they were taken advantage of. So they just have a lot of fear. And you know what I'm saying? I don't want this to happen to my child. But like you said, there's definitely a gentle approach. And I always tell them that, like, hey, this person is okay. This person is okay. While I may trust my brother and, Josh's brother or whatever, it's always like, that person can't wipe you. You should not be, undressed around
that is really just like, it's irritating. So, because sometimes, when I did work, I would have my nephews watch the girls. And it's kind of like, if Ari needed somebody to wipe her butt, am I supposed to tell my nephew, you can't wipe her butt?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do have that discussion with Anya and Ari, like, you need to tell me if somebody touches you here. You need to tell me if somebody touches you there. You need to tell me if somebody's making you touch them places. You need to tell me. And I tell them that because I don't want them to feel like they need to hide something from me. So for me, I can't tell my daughters to be like, you can trust. I mean, I want to, but I can't because of my experience. I can't tell them you can trust family. I can't tell them you can trust my brother or my uncle, because family, quote unquote, or relatives is who, sexually abused me, because they were always closest. They were always deemed as trustworthy, or, oh, this is such and such. They could stay here with such and such. So it's like I can't put a label on who they can trust. It's more so I need to make sure you're aware of your body and what is not okay and what somebody should never make you feel like you need to do.
Right.
So yeah, that's super important. And then what today it goes for, like, you can't trust teachers, you can't trust security or police officers. Like, everybody's abusing their power when it comes to children and coaches and preachers, and it's just like, dang, like, what can I teach my child as like a person of go-to?
Yeah, you teach them to speak up. That's really the best thing you can do. We cannot protect them from every single thing. It's just impossible. You can prevent. You can try to prevent it as much as possible, but I think, like you said, just having that open relationship where, hey, it's okay to come and talk to me. I tell Journey and Ashad all the time, if someone tries to make you do something that you don't want to do, definitely try to scream for help, get out of there, do whatever you want to do. If it's a situation that you just absolutely cannot get out of, come and notify me the moment you see me. I don't care if they tell you, hey, don't tell, because I don't want to get you in trouble. They may try to use certain, things against you. Do not be afraid to come and tell me, because you're going to be the least of my troubles. Yeah. That conversation is not going to happen with you. That conversation is going to happen with that person, and they're going to suffer whatever the consequences are. So I make that very well known. But yeah, I mean, you just do the best you can, honestly. Parenting, it can be a very scary thing, because you just do the best you can, and you really just pray that nothing happens. Like I said, I mean, I tell my children, who I believe that I can trust. While I may trust these certain people, not everybody watches my children.
Yeah, not everybody. Some people just have kids in the house, and some people actually watch your kids.
Right. Like, I'm okay with having certain people in my house around my children, but when it comes to like an overnight situation, that is so very rare. Like, it got to be a real live, like, this is an emergency and I need you to watch them.
And even with that, I'm calling multiple times. I'm calling and I want to talk to them. Where are they? Let me talk to them. Like,
right. And like I said, luckily my kids have uncles where they just don't even play that. Like, they get on Journey like, hey, no, put your leg down. Hey, don't do this. Like, I don't even have to say anything half the time, because it's just like, no, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
But like yesterday, Anya was chilling in the couch. This is a girl's house. It's just us. She was chilling in the couch. Ari was in the room, and she was, her chest was on the couch. her knees were on the couch, but her butt was up in the air. And I said, don't sit like that. I said, you sit with your butt on the chair, or you lie down on the chair, but you don't sit like that, because she had panties on. And the reason I said don't sit like that is because if she had on a skirt, she can't sit like that. If she had on tights or today's skinny jeans, you can't sit like that and be around boys and girls and for them to not allow their minds to wander, let alone be around adults and allow their minds to wander, because in society they make that position when it's girls or boys or any adult look sexual, and because it's deemed as being sexual, I need to get you out of the habit of feeling like it is okay for you to sit like that, even at home with me.
Right. And it's so sad that they have, just over sexualized our children in general, because it, like you said, eventually it just makes you feel so uncomfortable. Like, well, damn, what can I do? I remember this girl I follow on Instagram, and she asked, like, was it appropriate? A video of a mom, basically, like, I guess you could say just pole dancing, and her daughter was on the pole with her as well. And a lot of people were just like, no, that's not appropriate. And I'm like, well, on one hand, it may not be appropriate to put it out there, but that's her child, and I'm teaching her to be a stripper, so it's total fine. But I think it is
in our American culture, we deem that like, oh, that's a pole, that's a woman, she's not wearing a whole bunch of clothes, she's a stripper, okay? In other countries, that might be a cultural okay dance. In other countries, women have their babies on their backs or on their heads when they walk around, and they're not fully clothed, and that's okay. My thing is like, girl, if you dance on the pole in your house with your child, cool. But you knew once you push, publicize or record, and you posted that somewhere, the outside world was going to have a field day, because they love chastising. They love telling people what they are. They love telling people what they're doing. They love telling people they're wrong, and they love controversy. That is something, I don't care if a woman does with her child, cool, but the world don't need to see it.
The world does not need to see what you do in your home. That's why it's your home, and you are in the privacy of it. And everything that you do in there, you don't record yourself having sex and putting it on your, well, some people do.
Well, some people do.
Some people do, but it's like, this is in the privacy of your own home. And I think some things should just be, kept to yourself and what you do in your house. And it's just, it was just one of those things. I felt, I just kind of felt bad for her in that moment. And I didn't read, further into comments or try to, find anything else about it.
I refuse to follow or like pages like, what is that? What's the famous page that have all the gossip? What is it?
Is it the Shade Room?
Shade Room, or anything of gossip or people's business that ain't my business.
Right. I don't follow them. I'll come across stuff on the Explorer page, but I don't follow them either. But yeah, it's just like, I don't want to judge her, but it's just like, let's just be wiser as women. Like I saw a video today, and I think you may have posted it or someone else may have posted it, but it was just two girls jogging in the park, and this guy was just like, cussing them out and just, saying like really rude and sexual comments. And, they were terrified. And it's like, I hate to go, back to the whole, the Black woman is the most unprotected woman in the world. And it's like, it really comes like we, have to protect ourselves. And it sucks because you just want to be a woman. You just want to be a woman in society and not have to worry about like, dang, who's going to have my back? Can I go running today?
When it comes to Black women's body parts, we've always been demonized as something's wrong with us because it's so different. Our lips are too full. Our waists are too small, and our hips are too big. Our butt is too big. Something's wrong with you.
They protected our bodies just off of stuff like that.
Yeah, they put us in a zoo. a human zoo and had people pay for tickets to come look at us, throw things at us, and poke at us. And then now we live in a society of waist trainers, big hips, big butts, big thighs, big boobs. What does that look like? Right. But then, you know, you see little girls, whether they're, let's say they're in gymnastics. In gymnastics, they wearing basically cheekies underwear.
Right.
A tight top, which I understand so it doesn't interfere with their movement. And they do all these amazing jumping and twisting and turning, but we see all of their body. And if I want to sexualize what I see, I'm going to sexualize what I see. Now, when it comes to us in society living real life reality, we get chastised from going outside and wearing shorts and a sports bra or shorts and a t-shirt. If a man could go outside in shorts, and a lot of men do it, no shirt, sweating, wet, high shorts, I can see your thighs, your knees, and you have on shoes, and I can't go outside in a sports bra, shorts, and go running and exercise or leggings, but I'm okay to go on the beach with a bra and panties. What is going on?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And you know, our girls see that, and you know, 54% of women 18 to 40 are insecure about their bodies. So this is not something that stops at 15. This is not something that stops you in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s. This is a whole lifestyle of women having insecurities and having to live in a life and balance everything within that and be okay and raise other kids to be okay about themselves when they're really not okay with them.
Right.
So it's just a lot. And, you know, when it comes to teaching your kids how to balance their emotions is a lot. When you're teaching your kids how to balance insecurities or what are insecurities. When you're teaching your kids how to love their hair, because I'm still struggling with Anya. She hates her hair. And everybody in the world thinks Anya's hair is pretty. And girl, she hates it. Sometimes I'll bathe her and Ari together and she'll be like, oh, why can't my hair be long and pretty like Ari's? It's so easy. And I'm just like, oh,
and it's like, is longer than Ari's.
Girl, and I be trying to tell her, I said, your hair is way longer than Ari's. I've just never put heat on Anya's hair. I don't straighten Anya's hair, and I don't take Anya to get her hair straightened. Like, Anya has only been to the hairdresser one time, and that's to get her hair braided. And Anya's hair is like hair you have to do every other day, because the longer you let it sit in the style that it's sitting in, it gets so knotted so quick because it's curling. And so their hair is just different. So I'm constantly having to teach Anya.
That hair is thick.
Yeah, I have to teach Anya about her hair. She cries if I let her wear her hair out. And I used to be like that. I used to hate my hair being out. And the reason I hated my hair being out is because I hated attention. I still hate attention. It's hard for me to take a lot of people being nice to me. It's hard for me to take a lot of compliments. And that's just something I deal with still at 32. But when I was little, I hated having my hair out because it was really long and very thick, and everybody wanted to touch it. And everybody wanted me to come near them. And everybody wanted to take pictures. And I don't like a lot of people around me. So I never liked my hair out. With Anya, she's not even around people. She don't like her hair out. So that's something I deal with. I have to talk to her about her skin being different, and how some people are just not going to like you because of your skin, and how you're not allowed to misbehave at school or not listen at school a lot because of your skin. I have to tell her, you know, about the body changes that she's possibly going to have. Mm-hmm. Aria already asked me, why do I have hair down there?
Oh, yeah. Well, at least they didn't, you know, go with you to get a wax and told everyone that you didn't have hair down there.
Girl.
embarrassment.
I know with two sensitive daughters, I'm gonna have to deal with low self-esteem.
Yeah.
So that caused me to like constantly have to give them a compliment, constantly have to like, quote unquote, big them up, tell them what they're great at, tell them what I like about them, tell them, that they're doing great at school, tell them that, randomly, I thank you for, cleaning this up and I didn't have to tell you. Thank you for helping Aria with this. Thank you for opening the blinds for the plants without me having to tell you. Like little stuff like that, I have to make myself do, because even though my mom was like super like loving and caring, she never went out her way to tell me face to face. She would write it down. She'll put it in a card, or she'll talk to somebody else about me and say those things. And I used to be listening, overhearing, and all like, oh my God, my mom appreciates me. But she never told me to my face that she appreciates me. And I think a lot of parents do that. We have to tell our kids to their face that we appreciate them, because how are they going to grow up and be able to do that to somebody else?
Girl, we gotta tell them, and we gotta apologize to them. Like my mom, she told me that she loves the fact that I can apologize to my children when I am wrong.
Yes, that's important.
And I'm like, because I wish you would have done it to me when I was younger, because there were times as a parent that you were just in the wrong, and I wish you would have apologized for it. So I do to them sometimes what you did not do for and to me.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to aim to be, oh my God, I'm going to make you feel bad about how you parented me. I'm going to be the better parent. We're supposed to be what we needed as kids that our parents didn't do. And the things that our parents did do for us, we're supposed to do that too. And the things that we didn't like, we're not supposed to expose our kids to. That's how it's supposed to work. But then you have like some parents that grow up, become parents, and feel envious that their kids have an opportunity that they did not have. And because their kids have an opportunity that they did not have, their kids become their enemies. And that is not supposed to be.
Right.
Which brings me to women who are single and their sons grow up and they have girlfriends and they feel like that they're their son's girlfriend. Girl, when I tell you I have so many friends dealing with that issue, where men's moms do not want to let go.
I only realistically had like one boyfriend that his mom was like that. I've only had one, and while it was probably one of the best relationships that I had because of the way he treated me, towards the end, like I wanted to fight his mom. Like it was just one of those things that was like, I legit will beat your mama ass at this point because I don't care. She's disrespectful. Her mouth is disgusting. And the fact that she feels like she can disrespect me because you're her son or she's older, I don't know what the problem is, but that's not cute. You're going to end up alone if your mother has anything to do with it. And God rest her soul. She passed away. But it's like, you cannot treat people like that because you didn't have, or I would say you chose not to be with anybody else, because that's just like us as mothers. I cannot treat Ashad, or I cannot use Journey to fill the void because, you know, their dad didn't want to stick around or whatever. Like that, like I cannot do that to them. My life has to go on. And
yeah, you can raise your son to be young adult males, but you cannot raise your son to be a man. You cannot raise your son to be your man of your house. That's not it. Because if your son is your man of your house, he's never going to leave.
Right. Exactly. And not only is he not going to leave, but I don't know. It's just, it's to me, it's, I don't want to say it's borderline disgusting, but it's borderline disgusting. Like, that's a child. That's your child, no less.
Yeah. But, you know, some women do it where they be like, oh, that's the man of my house, my son, that's my everything. Your kids are not supposed to be your everything. Your kids are a part of you.
Right. I love them, but look, mama got a life. too, and she's gonna live it. But yeah, I don't know. I just always thought that's just, I don't know, that's just weird. And I have a cousin who she, did not remarry after her marriage or whatever, and she doesn't necessarily make her son her everything, but he's definitely kind of like the man of the house, and his ass is not gonna leave, anytime soon, and had quite a bit of failed relationships already, and he's only, I want to say, maybe like 22. And Ashad has already told me he's gonna have a wife and kids one day. He said he's gonna have a wife and 3 daughters. So I maybe not be able to raise him as to become a man, but he already has an idea of, even though you may not have shown me that, I know what I want. Yeah. And because I know that's what he wants, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want that for him as well. I want you to have a wife. I want you to have children, just like Journey. And I feel like parents, well, our parents, our generation did not raise us to, be okay with wanting to be wives. And like, I've never had a conversation with my mom about getting married. Like, I haven't had it.
I didn't know the truth about my mom and my dad's marriage until I was 28. And how my mom living in the house with them until I was 8 was very like, oh, that's my dad. He comes in at 7:00 at night. He expects his dinner on the table. He sits at his desk. He might clean his gun. He might count his money. He might have a beer. He watches his TV. And my mom cleans. She cooks. She takes care of us. She takes care of the house. If we need to go to doctor's appointments, she takes the bus, the trolley, the train, or she walks. He doesn't drive her anywhere. He had 2 cars. He has his own business. He wakes up at 7 a.m. He shines his shoes. I help him put his shoes on. My mom irons his clothes. She washes his clothes. And that is what a marriage is. And I was wrong. So when I was 28, my mom told me that my dad was very selfish. And even though she was married to him and they lived in the house together, she never had to pay bills. But she had to buy the groceries, because anytime they would go to the grocery store together, he would walk out the grocery store and she had to pay for herself. She had to take us to doctor's appointments. She went on field trips with us for school. She came and got us from school. She had to make her own money on the side because he didn't give her money. Wow. She was basically his housemaid. And they made a deal that if he married her, that he would bring her other kids up from Jamaica, and she would take care of his house. But she can't make no guarantees on if she's gonna love him or not. So the whole time I'm growing up, I'm thinking, oh, this man was just mean. He just like really was very distant because something was wrong with him. But you basically gave this man a business proposition on
to deal with it.
On having a marriage. And then once he married you, he felt like you were indebted to him to do these things. And he knew that you really didn't love him. That's why you were in the marriage. You wanted him to do something for you. And once he brought your kids here, you are basically stuck in a marriage and you basically ran out of it. He went to Jamaica for, I think, a funeral or to go visit family. And she took that time to pack up her things in his house and leave and go to Baltimore. We stayed in a women's shelter for some months until she got on Section 8. She had a stroke. We ended up in foster care. Then when she got out the hospital, she got her apartment. We lived with her. Then from there, we moved to Florida. Then from Florida, I took it upon myself to be like, hey, Florida ain't for me. I'm moving to Atlanta. And I finished high school in Atlanta, finished college in Atlanta. And then I started living my life. But that illusion of what a marriage is as a child, if you don't really explain it to your child and they grow up and they have this idea that marriage sucks because I saw my mom and my dad's marriage and that sucks. Like, I don't want that. That wasn't a marriage.
Right.
That was a business. That was a business. Like, so it's just like, you know, Anya asked me, she said, why are you alone? Like, why do you live here alone? And I know what she meant by that. I know she meant like, why isn't there not a father figure here or one of our dads or like your man? Like, where is he at? And I told her, I said, you know what? Sometimes two people are better living separately than living together and arguing and fighting and not liking each other. And it doesn't make everybody feel good. It doesn't make them feel comfortable. And so I would rather be by myself and be happy until I find somebody that can be happy with me. And
Right.
she was like, okay. And that's the discussion that needs to be had. You shouldn't, when a child comes to you like that, you shouldn't be like, oh, you need to be quiet. You need to mind your business. You need to, go do something. You need to legit give them the honest answer that, hey, I can have somebody, but I'm choosing not to have somebody because your happiness is more important than you having a physical body in the house. I think a lot of women are in a relationship with a physical male, but that man is absent spiritually, physically, most times emotionally, financially, and because it looks like a happy family, because it looks like a package, because it looks like, oh, you got it all together, they stay in it. I'm not doing that.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely that route. What you said was right. Like Journey has asked me, like I said, they're team dad, and we don't live there right now, so I feel like long distance just does not work. I don't, I have no expectations for when I move back. Me moving back is just because I don't want to be here in North Carolina anymore. And I do feel like hey, they need to be close enough to you, because I do a lot by myself, and I can't complain about what you don't do if I'm not even there to give you the opportunity to do it. It is very hard to parent and co-parent long distance. It just really is. I don't have capacity for it because I get annoyed. My patience is short. So, she's asked me before, like, why aren't you and daddy married? And, I have had to tell her, like that's not up to me. I cannot propose to him. That's something that he has to do, and that's something that he has to want to do.
Yeah.
That's on me. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm with you. I'm never like, mind your business. It doesn't concern you. But I do tell them, like, that's not something that I want you to worry about. That is a grown-up issue. That's not a child's issue. And I don't want you to take that burden of trying to figure out why, because none of this is your fault, nor can you patch this thing up. That's something that's totally separate. You have your relationship with him, and I have my own relationship, with him just as his co-parent. But yeah, I totally agree. And it's funny that you mentioned, you didn't find out until 28. Girl, I'm just finding out like as of I was yesterday years old, that when I found out my mom married my stepdad, and after the first year she knew that it wasn't going to work, but because she wanted us to be stable, because she had been a single mom for quite some time, she dealt with it. And he was a good man. I'm talking, we never wanted for anything. He treated her nicely. I was shocked when I heard it, because I'm like, well, what did you see that wasn't going to work out? Because he's a good guy. Like, I don't understand. And, there were things that my sister was telling me, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it's just crazy the length that us as women will go to be stable. And I have even been, just pondering on this, like, okay, what can I do to make sure that me and my children are stable? Because for a very long time we have not been. And it's like, what can I do differently this time to make sure that we are stable without having to not necessarily have a man in the picture, but not have a man in the picture? Because I'm not the type of woman that's just like, oh, be by yourself, be an independent chick. That's not me. Listen, honey, I want somebody in the house. I want them to my helpmate. I want them to love on me and I can love on them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be, I don't want to be the king.
That's why I get so frustrated when more so men like to throw this around and be like, oh, women, they ain't got no goals. All they want to be is, single moms. They got goals to be single moms. Nobody wants to be a single mom. Listen, we live in a time where women realize that we have a choice to stand up on our own to take care of our child and actually make some type of a living. Before, it was like society made women feel less than for having a child and not having a man to take care of you and that child. You might as well die. You might as well die because you have nothing. And now we live in a time where women can make a way and raise a child. And the way that that's looked at is very, very lopsided. And I don't like that. Like that stereotype that's being portrayed, like women just want to be single mothers. We don't. But I would rather be a single mom than have a male in here disrespecting me in front of my daughters, beating me in front of my daughters, talking down to me in front of my daughters, and my daughters seeing that as it's okay, tomorrow might be good, and as long as you have a man, you're doing it the right way. I don't want that. Because let them be dating, being in a relationship or a marriage with a man that's beating on them. Ma'am, I don't care how grown you think you are, you're leaving. Like, I am that mom.
Right. Yeah. I feel like a lot of women, though, have glorified being single moms. Like, girls I went to high school with that have had children since, we were in high school. I see women all the time, and I have stopped Christmas shopping, I think, for almost 3-4 years now. But they'll, rant and rave about, oh my gosh, I've worked all these hours to make sure my kids have this and that. Yeah. And it's like they pride themselves on that. And while I haven't gotten to the place where like I pride myself on being a single mom, because here I have two sides. On one hand, I'm a single mom, but on the other hand, I feel like I'm really just a single woman that is a mom. I'm single, but I'm not I'm doing it by myself physically, but I'm not necessarily by myself. Like, I can call him and let him know what's going on.
I feel like a single mom is where you are the only one that can financially, emotionally, physically, and mentally feed and strengthen the mind and the mouth and the well-being of your child. Now, the girls have, their own dads, and I can't tell you that their dads can financially, emotionally, mentally, and physically do what I do for my kids. So, am I a single mom more so than I have a father that helps with my children? Yeah. Because I'm the person. I'm on the insurance cards. I'm the one that has the birth certificates. I'm the one that they come to if they're sick and they have to leave school. I'm her. It's not them. So I can say that, but I think the whole glorifying being a single mom versus being a mom that lives separate from a dad and you're not together is the fact that most women that glorify and want to yell it from the top of a building are women that just want people to be like, we see you, we appreciate you, your children should be grateful for you. Thank you for doing your best. I think that's what they're screaming more so than look what I bought for my kids. Because this past Christmas, the only reason why I had so much to give my kids is because I have so many people around me that support me as a mother doing the most for her kids. So all those gifts and clothes and necessities that the girls needed wasn't all from me. It wasn't from Santa. They know that. We don't do Santa in my house. But it's because people care about them. People love on them. people know how much I do for them and they care about me. And when you become a mom, it ain't about you to the point where when people buy things for your kids, they're doing something for you. And I do appreciate that. I do love that, and I do give my thank yous. And I think society looks at it wrong, where they be like, oh, these women, they love the fact that they get food stamps. They love the fact that they get, financial aid. They love the fact that they got this and they got that.
I never had to sit up there and talk to freaking caseworker just to get food. Like, that shit is annoying. I remember working, where was I working then? I think I was working at Nordstrom, and I was living in an apartment, maybe about $1,000 a month. And the lady, she's just like, so based on the paycheck that I had at that time, or the pay amount, she was just like, so how do you pay your rent if you're only making this much? And I really wanted to tell her, like, I sell ass. This, like, you don't worry about, like, this is not coming out of your check. This is, and I mean, I had never actually been asked that question before, like, how are you going to pay your rent next month? Like, what does that have to do with the food that I'm asking for, or the money that
they really want to know that you need them 110%. Like how Georgia works as far as like helping a single mom with healthcare, food, or any type of assistance. They want to know that you have -$0. And if you are in the negative, then okay, we're going to give you this and this and this. But once you make $1 over this month, bringing in each month, you get nothing. You get
$1, honey, a penny over. They will let you off. For real. Yeah. I know someone who's making a penny over, and they cut off her assistance. And it was just crazy, because it's like the stuff that they don't factor in, sometimes like your car note, like that's not factored in. And it's like, trust me, don't nobody want to sit up here and ask for food stamps. That is a myth. Yeah. That is a lie. It's a hassle. It's a hassle, and they make you feel less than. And the crazy thing is, the women who work there, baby, it takes a GED to have that job.
Girl, this doesn't take. In Georgia, they get paid less than $30K a year. That's nothing. Yeah. So for you to be sitting behind, a desk, feeling a type of way to downgrade somebody else, where you will have women and men and veterans walking through those doors with a bachelor's degree, with a master's degree, and still need that help, because jobs out here want to tell you after your 4 years of college, after your graduate degree and whatever you got, there are not jobs out here that want to pay you, but we're going to pay you $10 an hour. $10 an hour cannot pay for the lifestyle that I live after having school loans, after having a house, after having utilities, after having kids. It's not, and y'all know it's not. So that's why I'm in here with a degree.
Yep.
It's a lot. But what is one thing, before we both go, that you can say that you're doing to stop the shaming from getting to Journey, and stop the shaming of, her not liking herself or her not liking her body getting to her head? Or one thing that you want to start doing?
Well, one thing I do first is check her judgmentalness, because Journey can be very judgmental. And I told her, me and my sister tell her often, when you judge someone, oftentimes it comes from you not liking something about yourself. And that's something that we need to look into. So you're judging her, but it's something about you that you don't like either, because that person, you don't know them, or they didn't do anything to you. So how can you talk about someone that you may know very little or may not know at all, when you have flaws as well? she doesn't typically have a lot of issues as far as how, she looks or anything. She's very confident, but her confidence can come off as just being very cocky sometimes. And those things that she doesn't like about herself, we just try to, love on her and, tell her she's beautiful, because I don't feel like my sister probably didn't get it as much as I did, but I think because I was a child that didn't need it. My mom just wanted to, tell me how cute I was and how, oh, you just know how to do your hair. Whereas my sister, was heavier than me, and my mom just didn't give her that same love and attention. And I'm so glad that I have boy and girl, because Ashad, he does not care if he gets a compliment or not. But he gets compliments anyway. But Journey, like I said, she's pretty confident, borderline cocky sometimes, for the most part. And when she has those moments where it's like, I don't like my hair, or I'm not good at this, it's just really just kind of sitting down and having that talk and leveling with her, like, things are going to change. You're not always going to look this way. You're not always going to be shaped this way. You're going to get better at this. Just really encouraging her, because it's important. Like you said, our girls, they're going to go through, having low self-esteem. Ashad is going to, he's had low self-esteem actually more this year than anything, because he had to deal with some bullying at school. So she's gonna go through that, and I just do the best that I can just to encourage her and make her feel better. She has her own mind. I know she's not gonna tell me every single thing that she thinks about herself or others. So it's just, I just try to be in tune with them as much as I can be, without getting like overwhelmed and wrapped up, too much in their emotions.
Do you ever find or hear Ashad giving Journey a compliment, or vice versa?
Yeah, like I said, Journey's very team affection, so she'll hug and kiss on Ashad a lot. Ashad, he'll come and he'll hug her, but he has this thing now where he calls her like a burnt chicken nugget, and she gets so upset. And I'm just like, Journey, are you made of chicken? Are you made of a nugget? So how nugget when you're not even made of chicken, nor are you a nugget, and I just have to tell her, like, I know it's a brother sister teasing thing, but I'm like, Ashad, let's not forget when you were getting teased in school. So if you didn't feel good then, how do you think that makes her feel when you tease her? Cut it out.
Like, one thing I'm going to start doing with the girls, because they're very, very competitive. It's like, if I hug Ari, Ari's going to run to Anya and be like, Mommy, hug me. If I kiss on Anya, Arya come to me, you don't want to kiss me too. So it's very like, dang, I gotta do both of y'all. But I want it to be like sincere. So even down to like when I feed them, if Anya finished eating faster, she comes to the pot, can I have some more? I'll give her enough, that way I could give Ari more too. If Ari sees her with more and Ari still got food on her plate, she'll start crying. How come Anya get more? You're not even done. I have some more in the pot, but you're not even done. So it's just balancing that out. And so what I want to start doing is getting both of them to a point where they can give each other compliments. Like, tell me one thing you like about Anya. Tell me one thing you like about Ari, so they could feel comfortable in that. I also put like sticky notes on the bathroom mirror that says, like, I look beautiful today, or I'm going to have a good day. Just getting them into the habit of like, this is where you start your day. This is like something in your head that you need to think about before you do anything else. Because if they go to sleep thinking about everything that happened yesterday, and let's say if it was negative, and they wake up and nothing's telling them to try it a new way, try it different, then I'm not setting them up. I'm not helping them, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to get them in the habit of just loving themselves. I might tell them to repeat something that I put on their wall, like, I love my hair. I love my brown skin. I love my eyelashes. Like Anya, she's been like catching me just staring at her, and she's like, why are you staring at me? And instead of me be like, I could look at you, I made you, I'll just say, I just love your lashes. Or I just like your little nose. It's cute. And then it's just like, it helps with them learning how to give compliments, them learning how to take compliments, them learning how to give other brown-skinned people compliments. Because right now, at my age, I could give a woman on the street a compliment, and she gonna most times be like, "Oh, this just this," or she gonna downplay herself when I'm giving you a compliment. So it's kind of like, okay, we have some learning to do. So that's what I'm doing to try to help that.
Who does not take compliments well.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy. But thank you for sharing all your info and all of your, experiences. Being a mom is one thing, but raising them to be good people is a whole other thing. Man, but thank you guys. I just feel like people will either take heed to it if they hear other people and what they're doing to combat what's happening on TV, what's happening in music, what's happening at home, because all of our homes are completely different now. Some people have like 2 moms, some people have 2 dads, some people have 4 adults in their house. But what happens when your kid walks out your door and goes into public is very important, because it's always leaving an impression on somebody else.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that other parents out there know how they can help, girls from feeling ashamed of who they are, and, being more secure with themselves and more secure with their bodies, and how everything is intertwined with everything. So you can't talk about one thing and not talk about the other. You just got to be open.
Yeah, you definitely do. I agree. And it's funny because we were at my mom's house over the weekend, and my mom is kind of a judgy mom. And like I said, Journey has her own TikTok, and there's the savage dance. So she did the savage dance for her, and the part at the end where you kind of like body roll.
Yeah.
She's just like, I gotta go, and da-da-da-da-da. And it's just like, listen, honey, we live in a new day and age, and my child knows who to do that around and who not to do that around. Yeah. She knows.
Like, have you seen cheerleading competitions?
Hello?
Oh, it gets real.
The bucking competitions where they really, popping and locking, and that's something Journey actually wants to do. Like, she loves that show, Bring It. So,
but you know what? Bring It, me watching it, as a mom, I'm just like, do you see these outfits?
Well, see, I was on band and I had outfits like that. So that doesn't bother me. I'm not gonna lie, because I had outfits like that. I didn't have outfits like that at that age, but Journey is also doing gymnastics. So she's wearing bodysuits and, little cheeky shorts already.
But you know why it puts me at pause? It puts me at pause because I was brought up to not show your body. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't put me on pause because as soon as I sing, I think sex. I was put on pause because, oh my God, they're showing that. Oh my God, like I did not show my legs when I had a choice to not show my legs from age 11 to 16. I never wore a short. I never wore skirts that showed my knees or anything because I just felt like my legs were ugly.
Oh, girl, I used to love me some shorts. I had this white skirt when I was in the 6th grade, and I was not supposed to wear it to school because it did not meet the fingertip test. But honey, I wore it anyway, and
were you a backpack outfit girl?
I wasn't. I would wear it, and I would just pull it down enough to get past the finger, the fingertip test. I got my way around it because I'm like, listen, you're not gonna tell me what to wear. Not mom, but the schools. Like you're not gonna tell me what to wear. That's not for you. If you don't like what I'm wearing, uniforms. I don't want to hear nothing until y'all implement uniforms. Period.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, no. I'm cool with all that. I will say, you know me, I'm very lax as a mom. I'm very lenient when it comes to certain things. There are things that I know I'm going to have to implement, you know, as they get older, but I just try to let them live, not too crazy, but I just, you know, I think because my mom was so strict and so hard that it's just like, I don't want to overwhelm them.
Mm-hmm.
I just, they got enough to deal with already. People forget children are humans. They have emotions and they get stressed. They get overwhelmed just like we do.
Agreed. Do you want to share where the people can find you on social media?
Oh my gosh, my page, it looks like a fake page, but it's not. At Product of Style, PRODUCTOF Style, STYLE. So you guys can find me there. I am going to start posting at some point in time. I like stories. I don't like to post on my page. I don't know. I like things to be posted and for them to go away. But yeah, it's like Shan asked me, like, are you revamping? I'm not revamping.
I needed to know because I'm just like, ain't nothing up here.
I've just gotten to this place where I don't like posting. I feel like people post so much that I'm just like, I don't want to be in the post crew. I'll be in the story crew all day. I don't like being in the post crew. In the story crew, you're not gonna, my life is not that interesting. That's what I'll say. My life is not that interesting. It's not that much for me to post. When it gets a little more interesting, then I'll post some more.
I think the story crew is moving towards IGTV with a purpose of that series, because they're calling them series, and people who want to post pictures, they're either buying apps that'll, you know, style their page on how they post, or they're just picking a style of posting and they're posting like their pictures. Me personally, what I'm doing is I'm going through the people I follow and the people who are following me, and I'm seeing who gives me engagement or who inspires me. And if you don't fall into someone that gives me engagement or you inspire me, I'm deleting you. Because to me, it's not about the numbers. The numbers on IG, the numbers on Facebook are lies. And I came to this conclusion because I did a promotion on one of my pages for product to go to a shop. And the numbers on Facebook that is showing of views and replies and reposts is in the 5,000, 2,500 or whatever, right? When you go to my promotion and you see the stats, we're in 200 views on this. We're in 47 response. We're in this many clicks. So basically what Facebook and IG is doing to the viewers, they're showing you that you're getting this widespread, everybody's looking at this number, right? To you, as a person who's paying for the promotion, they're showing you that you've only reached this many people. So me, as a person that's paying for the promotion, I'm gonna be like, dang, I'm gonna put more money into this so I could get more people to see. To the viewer that's thinking about doing a promotion, you're showing them that you're hitting thousands of people so you could get them to buy in. And so when they asked me about feedback for the promotion, they were like, will you do this promotion again? I said, no, because your algorithms are lies.
Right.
Like, I know that either way, you're trying to feed your pockets through me, and you're trying to feed your pockets through people that are viewing this. But these numbers are not real. These numbers are lies. People are buying followers, and when you go on their page, it's crap. It's nothing of substance. Like, I like looking at art. I like looking at architecture. I like people who are talking about topics. Like that topic you sent me about compatibility. When I tell you, I will be taking notes and talking about this on an episode. It's just like, y'all are out here faking the funk. I want real engagement. I want people that, feel like, okay, this topic is helping me. Thank you for doing this topic. It did something for me. It helped me be better. If it's not that, I don't even know why you on my page.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's the thing with me, like,
hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please follow us as in me at Cozy Womb Pod on Twitter. Please follow the Facebook page at Cozy Womb Podcast. I need some feedback about these episodes. I've been doing episodes since 2018. I want to say March. And I feel like in 2018, it was a lot more feedback that I was getting from the episodes. And now I'm kind of really wondering, like, what do parents or soon-to-be parents or listeners need from, like, other parents? Or what do you want to know? Or what are you mostly curious about that you would like to be talked about that's not talked about enough? And if I have an experience with it, I would love to share it. I'm really curious on what is it that I haven't shared or I haven't done an episode. I feel like I've touched bases on most things. The only thing that I haven't touched base on purposely is women who have had miscarriages, because I've never experienced that. And I don't like to do episodes on things I haven't experienced because I don't know what that's like. But if you guys would want to share any feedback, please check out the Cozy Womb Podcast Facebook page and the Twitter. DM me on IG at Cozy Womb Pod. I answer my DMs frequently. If there's any podcasters out there or anyone that's interested in any type of branding of their, product, I don't mind adding it into the show. If that's something you're interested in, just please email me at cozywombmama@gmail.com. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Would love your feedback. If this is a show that you're interested in, please subscribe. And please leave a review on Apple Podcasts app. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.